What's the underlying fundamental value of Bitcoin? Now, of course, there are many underlying values of Bitcoin. You've heard about the decentralization, the distributed nature of the technology, the way in which it disrupts existing financial institutions and the way that we can deal with banking and finance. All of these represent various utilities of Bitcoin. But I want to dig a little bit deeper and ask the question, what is the fundamental value of Bitcoin? And to explain that fully, I really need to explain briefly and compare Bitcoin with the existing monetary system. For hundreds of years, money has always been the prerogative of the king, the ruler, the government, whoever is in power. In the past, of course, we had things like gold issuance and silver issuance going all the way back to the Romans, copper, all sorts of metals being used as money, circulating as money. But as we come forward closer to our own time, there was a fundamental change in the way money was created. In other words, previous monies were issued, were made out of metal and circulated. And then we came to a new development, the development of what we now call fiat money, money by government decree. And fiat money has an unusual property that never existed with the metal monies of the past, and that is it can be printed virtually cost-free and issued as debt. In other words, the monetary system I was going to say enjoy, but we don't enjoy it at all. The monetary system we are laboured with today is a debt-based money system whereby the issuing authority, which is typically a central bank with a granted monopoly by the government, where it basically prints or digitally creates money out of thin air, and that money always enters the economy as debt. When debt is repaid, the money is cancelled and new debt is issued. So we have a debt money system. Now, this debt money system has got a lot of byproducts, a lot of nasty byproducts. One of the things, of course, is it's capable of enabling a government to do things it shouldn't be able to do under normal economic rules. For example, in the past, if a king wanted to fight a war, he needed enough gold in the treasury in order to pay the troops, in order to fund such a war. If there wasn't enough gold, there was no borrowing, there was no printing, there was no banking system that could generate that money in order to make that type of war possible. Fast forward to the modern era, you realize that what we've seen in this century and the previous century is the ability of governments to do things they shouldn't be able to afford, like waging war, like building up huge arsenals of weapons, billions and trillions of dollars worth, like the wasted lives wasted in war, all made possible by the debt money system, whereby a government can go into debt, whereby it can pass on the cost of that debt to its own citizens via inflation. In other words, via monetary devaluation. You only have to ask yourself how you remember prices of things when you were young. And depending on how old you are, how much that price has changed. So what we have with the debt-based money system is the government's out of control monetarily, economically, spending money they do not have, being able to do things that we would not normally wish they could do, and to pass the cost of that, the debt that they raise to do these things, back onto us in the form of inflation or monetary devaluation. Now, Bitcoin represents a complete revolution and upturning of that idea. Bitcoin, at its fundamental level, is an asset. It is not issued as debt. It is not issued by an authority, by a king, by a government. It is a privately developed, privately evolving money which benefits people peer-to-peer. This money arrives on the scene just like gold does in a way. It's mined into existence. It comes into existence as an asset. It's not a liability to anybody. And once it's in circulation, it has a deflationary nature because of its limited quantity, 21 million coins. So the properties of Bitcoin make it entirely opposite to the properties of the inflationary money that we are used to, the paper money, the fiat money. Now, one of the byproducts of fiat money, it has devalued the concept of saving, because why save when the value of your money is going down? It makes no sense whatsoever. And in the modern era, talking about these last few years, we have even no interest to make it worthwhile. So people are chasing whatever they can to make money. Bitcoin steps in and offers us a deflationary means of transacting with each other, storing money, saving money, using money, with a currency form that is outside of government control, outside of anyone's control, and yet it has properties of the best money we've ever seen. Now, I believe Bitcoin is a Trojan horse because as it moves its way through the economy, as more and more people hear about it and see the benefits of it, it will undermine fiat currencies. So what is that value proposition of Bitcoin? Its fundamental value proposition, it is going to deliver more freedom to human individuals. Instead of being enslaved by a debt money system, instead of being bound up in an enterprise which involves the state lording it over our lives, spending money on our behalf and then charging us for the debt they incur through the devaluation of their currency. Instead, we have a currency in Bitcoin which completely turns the tables on all the properties of fiat money. That is the fundamental value of Bitcoin, apart from every other technical value that it represents. And this is why Bitcoin will survive, it will thrive, and it will win. Thanks for watching.